Good evening, parents, and welcome to Back to School Night 2020 version. It looks a little bit different this year since we are doing everything virtually, but our focus is still the same. Our objective here tonight is to give you as much information as we can about how the Dream Team works and about how the classes that your students are taking as members of the Dream Team will work. So we will try to be brief, but we'll also try to be thorough in our information. And just know that if you ever have any additional questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to reach out to us, either the individual teachers that your student has, or you can contact me. I am Mrs. Scheidt. I am the team leader for the Dream Team, and I also am your child's language arts teacher. What I always tell the kids as far as my role as team leader is concerned is that all that really means is that you just have to listen to me talk more. And so that will certainly be the case with this video as well. I get the pleasure of walking you through our team policies and procedures, and then I'll also speak specifically about my class a little bit later in the presentation as well. So this is the members of the Dream Team. We are a 7-member team. Mr. Hilligans teaches computer science and coding. Mr. Spoljaric is the social studies teacher. Mrs. Tallarico teaches science. Mrs. Fagan has gym class. Ms. Sasser is the math lab teacher. Mr. O'Donnell is the algebra, pre-algebra, and honors algebra teacher. And as I mentioned, I am Mrs. Scheidt. I am the language arts teacher on the team. You have our email addresses here. You can contact any one of us individually. We are excited to be part of the Dream Team, and I tell the kids every year on the first day of school that the Dream Team is always the best team, and I truly mean that. And it's the best team because we work together so well, and because the kids know and understand what it means to be a member of the Dream Team, and they are the ones who truly make our team special. So we have some general expectations that we want you to be aware of. These expectations apply specifically for virtual learning. These are things that sometimes the school town of Highland sets forth, and not just us. Things like don't, mess with their iPad, don't remove things from it, like the tags and the devices and the cases and things like that. But then specifically for the Dream Team, I'm not going to read all of these to you, but I do want to point out a few important ones. Obviously, the one highlighted in yellow. As a team, we do not accept late homework. The students know that all assignments that are posted are due by 9 a.m. The following day. So if an assignment is posted on Monday, by Tuesday, 9 a.m. for all of their classes, they need to have that assignment submitted virtually via Google Classroom. We do ask that the students stay on task while they're using their device. We will be offering up some live interaction and Google Meet opportunities. It's real important, and we'll talk more about that in a little bit, but it's real important for the kids to stay on task while they are in those live instruction and live interaction opportunities. They need to understand that they are creating a digital footprint, and that digital footprint needs to be a positive one. And then also, especially when we are in virtual learning, technology problems are going to arise, but that's not an excuse for not doing the work. Please ask them to try to problem solve. These kids are really tech smart. They know how to fix things. But if they can't solve it, then they should reach out to their teachers and ask what their next step should be. As far as our expectations are concerned, again, we do not accept late work, and we really think that it's a great idea if your children begin creating a schedule for themselves daily. Try to have them mimic the school day as much as they possibly can. I know that's not going to be completely possible, but if they can create a schedule for themselves, that I think will be really helpful in helping them be successful. This is the Google Meet live interaction opportunities that are available to your children. Every day they can meet live with their individual teachers. Sometimes those teachers might be doing live instruction. Sometimes it might be just an opportunity for them to answer questions or work on something specific. But these opportunities are available to your kids, and they need to take advantage of them. If a teacher has a specific requirement about their live interaction time, then they will address that to their students in Google Classroom. Again, we mentioned this before, but it's worth mentioning again. We do not accept late homework, so please make sure that your kids really get in the habit of submitting that work by 9 a.m. each day. We need their work to be neat and legible. If they're using a PDF document, please try to have them use a stylus or the text tool so that it can be more easily read by us. Obviously, a school policy on cheating is not tolerated, and that certainly is an expectation that we have as well. To try to make things as simple for you as possible, we have created a Dream Team homework page that the parents can access and the kids can access every day. I'm going to try to take you there right now, but it's accessible through the middle school website. So if you just go to the middle school website in general, and then go to menu, scroll down to where it says Dream Team, and click on that plus button. Now this is where there's lots of things here. There's you can do a contact and get a hold of each one of us teachers individually via email. You have the RDS access, your language arts textbook is there. The Dream Team Google Classroom codes and team info, if you open that, what you will really find is in much longer written form, everything I'm going over with you tonight. And then the Dream Team homework page. This is what I really want to show you right now because it gives you the opportunity to just every day you can click on here and you can pull up exactly and see a calendar of exactly what the kids have been doing in each of their individual classes on any given day. So if your kids, if your kids say to you, oh, we didn't have homework or I didn't have anything that I needed to do, then you can double check that and make sure that they're staying up to speed with everything via this site. Okay, it's a really good tool to use. And as I mentioned, some of those other things are available there as well. Okay. We do want to address the behavior expectations, especially during live interaction and real virtual events. There is that expectation that the school rules still apply, and that pertains to things like dress code. Your students need to be dressed appropriately for a school setting, even though they might very well be coming to school in their kitchen. Dress code still applies. We ask that they mute themselves when they come on to a Google Meet by turning off their microphone. Use the chat feature whenever necessary. And definitely make sure that outside distractions are limited. We don't want them on their cell phones. We don't want them watching TV or playing a video game while they are participating in our live interaction and real-time virtual events. This next slide is just kind of a condensed shortcut version of some of those expectations. I think Google actually put this out, but it's a pretty good visual, and you can see this in greater detail in the Dream Team policy page as well. Okay. If you have any questions or want additional information regarding our team policies and procedures, please check out the website that I showed you, or feel free to contact me, Mrs. Scheit, at any time. If you ever feel there's a need for a parent-teacher conference, we can certainly accommodate that. We have a common team plan time every morning from 8 to 8:30. During phase 1, that meeting would most likely need to be virtual via a Google Meet. But if it's absolutely necessary, we can arrange an in-person conference, but that has to be done by making an appointment through the office. Once again, if that's something you're looking to want to do, please contact me and we will make those arrangements. We cannot thank you enough. We know that you're busy. We know that your time is valuable, but we do ask that you please keep watching the video for important information from each of your Dream Team teachers about their individual classes. Please note, however, if your child has a teacher that's not a member of the Dream Team, maybe your child is in band, or maybe your child has art class, those teachers will not be part of this remaining video. You're going to need to check out their Google Classroom or perhaps email them individually to find out their back to school information. Once again, we thank you very much. We so look forward to an awesome year with your kids. We know that it's going to be challenging. We know that it's going to be different, but we also know that we are going to make it as awesome as we possibly can. Thank you, and keep watching.
Hi, I'm Mr. O'Donnell. I'll be your child's math teacher this year. At the middle school, I teach 3 different math courses depending on what class period your child has me. Second hour, third hour, and 7th hour are my pre-algebra class. That's your standard 8th grade class, getting them ready for freshman algebra. If your child has me 4th hour, they have me for honors algebra, which is a high school class. And if they have me 6th hour, they have me for regular algebra, which is also a high school class. I'm going to go over how everything that's in common for all 3 of these classes first, and at the end just spend a moment or 2 talking about how the classes differ. First thing, if you ever need to reach out to me, ask a question, you have a concern, email is the best way to reach me. My email is po_donne@highland.k12.in.us. It's on the website, and I believe it's also a link at the beginning of this video. I have my email open pretty much every school day from about 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Any emails after that I will hopefully kind of catch when I get home, kind of look at my phone. Between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. is the best time for me to get back to you as soon as possible. In terms of grades, my hope is to regularly grade throughout the week. Realistically, I'm thinking 2 or 3 days through the week, I'll just start chunking and get things in. So Monday, Tuesday stuff should be put in the grade book by Wednesday. Things towards the end of the week, I'm hoping to have in by Friday. Everything is going to be due the following school day unless I specify otherwise, like if we're working on a project. So if I assign something on Monday, it's going to be due Tuesday at 9 a.m. If I assign something on a Friday, it's going to be due the following Monday at 9 a.m. Everything's always going to be 9 a.m. If there's a project we're doing or something that takes a couple days, I'll make a special exception and I'll make sure to put that down for the requirements. Everything is going to be pushed through Google Classroom, which we've already been using this school year. That's going to be where notes go, where students attach their work, any announcements I have to make, everything's going to go through Google Classroom. Typically the way that class works for all classes, there's no actual textbook. We, as the 8th grade teachers, create our own custom notes that we send to the students. We send them chapter by chapter. So right now everybody is working on chapter 1 notes. I send it as a large PDF for the whole chapter so students can kind of look ahead and see these are the topics that we're going to be learning. Every day we open that PDF up, we do a couple more pages of it each day until it all fills up and we're finished with it. The way that notes work is I send a video where on the board I have the exact same PDF shown up and I'm showing the work exactly the way to solve the problems I'd like your child to do it for class. We usually do a page or 2 each day and then they have an assignment to work on. Usually the assignments are going to be pushed out through Khan Academy, Delta Math, possibly Math Excel, and then I'll sometimes have a custom Google form or something for them to do. The important thing with homework is that every assignment requires work to be submitted so that I know your child is following the process and I can give them credit for the things that they turn in online. The way that they submit their work is pretty simple. They should be doing their work by hand on a piece of paper at home, and when they finish an assignment, they just take a picture of it, or they take as many pictures as they need to. Just upload those pictures to Google Classroom for the assignment as an attachment. We've already done that a couple times. If your child does not know how to do that or there's an issue, have them email me. You can send me an email and we can get that worked out. I'm looking at my notes to see everything else I have to cover. Everything's going to be through Google Classroom. There isn't an online textbook, you don't have to worry about that. From here, I'm going to go over how each class is a little bit different. If your child is in pre-algebra, it's your standard 8th grade class. We're getting them prepped for high school algebra. For the most part, we're going to be doing algebra concepts, but we're going to do them at a little bit of an introductory level. As the course goes on through February, March, April, May, we're going to start actually doing high school Algebra 1 content with them just to get them ready. If your child's in Algebra 1, or honors with me, they are technically in an Algebra 1 class with me right now, and as long as they meet a certain threshold, they can receive high school credit for this class. If your child is in 6th hour algebra, the requirement is they need to maintain an 80% class average at minimum through the first semester. If your child is in honors, it's an 85%. Both of these things are on the syllabus that your child has from the first day of school. If your child's in pre-algebra, all of this information is also there as well. The 80% and 85% threshold does not apply to pre-algebra. It's only those Algebra 1 and those honors courses. If you have any specific questions, feel free to email me. Your child does have my class syllabus that's specific to whether they're in pre-algebra, algebra, or honors. They should have it on their iPad. If they don't have a copy of it anymore and you'd like a copy of it, just send me an email. I'd be happy to send it to you. If you need anything, just send me an email, and I hope that we have a great school year.
Hi everybody, I'm back. It's me, Mrs. Scheidt, and now I'm going to talk to you and share with you some important details about language arts class. The first thing I want you to know is that if you need to reach me, the best time is probably between 10 and 10:45 each day, but email also works great. My prep period is that 3rd hour time period during a normal school day, but I am available via email, and I do tend to respond fairly quickly. Generally speaking, on the first day of school, the kids walk in the class and I say, hey, we don't have rules in language arts class. And because they're 8th graders, they get really excited and think, ooh, no rules. But instead, what I tell them is that we have expectations. And I actually stole this from Tim Corbin, who is the varsity baseball coach at Vanderbilt University. His basic philosophy is that we don't have rules because rules are meant to be broken. Instead, we have expectations because expectations are what we strive for. And if you give kids high expectations, then they will rise up to meet those. So that really sunk in with me as a teacher when I heard him give that speech. And so I kind of stole it from him. And that's how we work in my class. What are my expectations? Be enthusiastic and positive. Be respectful and courteous. Be prepared. My expectation meets the team expectation of no late work. Listen and follow directions and communicate with me. In the virtual learning mode, that communication is more important than ever. Let's talk a little bit more about how your child will earn grades in my class. They will have an assignment from me every single day. They will have quizzes, specifically root quizzes, on a weekly basis. And then at least once a quarter, they have a quarterly assessment that they will take. You can see the breakdown there for how my grades are weighted in RDS. And that pretty much holds true for the entire quarter. I will be using what's called the flipped classroom mode of instruction. This basically means that my instruction will be pushed out via videos, text to read, worksheets, things like that. But I will offer up that live interaction opportunity for the kids each day via a Google Meet. And the time period for my Google Meet is 9 to 10 a.m. every day. And the code stays the same all the time, so the kids can pop in there and they can ask me any questions that they might be having, okay? As far as what we're going to be learning, well, obviously I'm going to teach the 8th grade Indiana state standards, but to do that, we use a lot of variety of teaching tools. I do use novels with the kids, and eventually there will be a couple of novels that the kids will have to purchase. That way they can annotate them and mark them up. One of the big units of study in my class is something called word roots. I have not started this with the kids yet, but it's coming next week, so they can get really excited about that. That will become a weekly part of their grade, and they will have a root quiz every Friday. So if they ever tell you they don't have anything they should be doing for language arts class, you can always tell them that they can be studying their roots. They do get homework in my class every single day. But again, as I've tried to explain to the kids during virtual learning, what is homework? Basically everything they're doing at home is homework. So it might look a little bit different than when we get back here into normal phase 4. But there is something pushed out for them every single day in Google Classroom that they need to be completing for me. This is for the honors kids only. I do work really hard at differentiating and making things, different for the honors class. They have leveled reading groups. They will have something called Reader's Workshop. They have something called the Passion Project. And then in the spring, we do Shakespeare. So if your student is one of my 5th period honors kids, they can be looking for some of those things coming their way as well. There is a course description guide. I'm not sure if it's been posted on the website yet, but if that's something you are interested in finding out a little bit more specifically about our course, please don't hesitate to email me, and I will be happy to share with you that document. if you want to know a little bit more about me, you can read through this and check this out. But some of the highlights are I am a farm girl at heart. I was born and raised in a very small town outside of the town of Reynolds. I went to St. Joe. I married a Highland guy, and we have made our life here. We have 2 children. My oldest is 20. My youngest is 18. He's a senior, so he's experiencing this virtual learning as well. I became obsessed with the movie Hamilton over the summer. I love my job. Every day I am thankful that I get to come here and share great literature and great writing with the kids. And I cannot believe that I've actually been doing this now for 25 years, all 25 of them right here at Highland Middle School. So, and then lastly, I just want you to know that I do appreciate you and understand that this is an endeavor that we are tackling together, and there's nobody else that I would rather be doing that with. The song that you've been listening to in the background of this is the song that I play for the kids on the first day of school. It's called Stuck in the Middle with You, and we talk about how that's a metaphor for our journey together. So thank you all so much. Please, please, please don't ever hesitate to reach out and get a hold of me if you ever have any questions or concerns.
Hello parents, welcome to the new school year. I know we're not starting out the way we would have all hoped to, but I know we can make the best of the situation. I care for your child's education, and I'm going to try my best to teach them as thoroughly as possible, even though we are going digital for the first 9-week grading period. I wanted to start off by introducing myself and give you a little bit of background information about who I am. My name is Nick Spoljaric. I've been teaching at Highland Middle School for about 9 years. I have a bachelor's degree in social studies education from Purdue University, Lafayette. I am licensed to teach U.S. history, world history, psychology, and government and civics. I am going to quickly present to you guys the attached file I sent out to all of your children via Google Classroom on the first day of school. You may have seen this, they may have shown you it, but if you did not see it, I am going to show you right now. So ultimately, the curriculum for this course, Social Studies in 8th grade, is U.S. history. And so that is the main curriculum, that is the main topics we will be covering. Very quickly though, the best way to contact me throughout the year is email, whether we're going virtual learning or not. My email address is posted there. My phone number, basically I gave you the office number. If you want to get a hold of me and rather talk to me on the phone, you can call the Highland Middle School front office and they'll get a hold of me. And since we're doing digital learning the first 9 weeks, you can get a hold of me pretty much any time throughout the day. If we do go back with the students in the building, basically my prep time on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Fridays is 9:48 to 10:37, and Wednesday is 9:45 to 10:31. Textbook information. We do have a textbook that we will use about 50% of the time, and it is United States History Beginnings to 1877. Unfortunately, though, our U.S. History textbooks for this course is not compatible with our iPads and haven't been since we've gotten access to our iPads. So us social studies teachers have gotten a way around this by scanning in old textbook pages as PDF files. So anytime I assign an assignment that deals with maybe 3 or 4 textbook pages, I will attach them via Google Classroom, and the students can basically download them there and read them and answer the questions or whatever activity they're doing with the textbook. Google Classroom, of course, is our main mode of teaching throughout this, especially throughout this first 9 weeks. The students should be fairly familiar with it. For parents, I would recommend, if you haven't already, to accept the invitation that the Dream Team teachers have sent out to you to gain access to your child's Google Classroom. This would help because you can set up daily reports or weekly reports of what your child had completed throughout the week in Google Classroom and maybe what they did not complete. So it will show you what they've turned in and what they didn't. Now, one caveat to that is sometimes it will show you on your end of things that your child did turn in the assignment, but when you go to the RDS gradebook, it will show up as a 0. And that could be because of various situations. Either maybe the student did not attach the file correctly. Maybe they did not save their progress. They need to save it into their drive for the document to save automatically. Sometimes students forget to do that, and then they'll hit the turn-in button, and all we see as a teacher is a blank document. Now, usually us teachers are pretty good to reaching out to those students and letting them know that that has happened, but I know that some students purposely will hit the turn-in button just so they know their parents are looking, and they see that it's turned in, so they expect to get a grade for it, even though they know they never did the assignment. So just look out for that. The course description, as I mentioned, it is U.S. history, and we are going to start with the era of exploration, basically Christopher Columbus in 1492, and him founding the New World, all the way up through the development of the 13 English colonies, and the creation of the United States of America with the Declaration of Independence and the United States Constitution, all the way up through the Civil War. And we are going to definitely touch on the debate over slavery throughout the year. In fact, in the spring, we have an entire unit over slavery. This course will conclude with the Reconstruction era, which is the era following the Civil War. The relevance, I know it is my job as a history teacher to get the students as interested as possible and get them motivated to learn history, but I'm also a realist, and I realize that some students will probably never like history. But it is important for you as their parents, and it's important for the children to know as well that this course is really important, especially to gain a good solid foundation for a course they'll take in the high school. And it is a U.S. history course they'll take in the high school, usually around junior year. It's a core academic course that is necessary for graduation, so they have to pass it. And that history course starts with the Civil War and goes to the present. And history does build off itself. It's all cause and effect. So ultimately, if they don't give themselves a good foundation in 8th grade U.S. history, it's going to be very difficult to perform well in junior year U.S. history. I do host a Google Meet from 10 to 11, and I'm either going to designate that for instructional time or just for students to ask questions on assignments and get help with that. But it's going to be really important for me as a teacher to establish some of those relationships with the students, and to also, again, clarify things that I might not have clarified very well in my videos that I post every morning. So hopefully they'll utilize that resource, and I will be there to help them as best as I can and reiterate things and ultimately clarify any misconceptions the students might have over that. And there are meeting rules that, of course, they need to follow. Otherwise, they could be asked to not come back in my Google Meet. My grades are updated about once a week in RDS. For larger projects or assignments, it might be 2 weeks, but that's at the very most, and that's only, again, a very few special assignments that take very long to grade. Homework quality does matter, again, especially when it comes to online. Some students like to save a file as a PDF and ultimately write with their finger. It becomes unlegible, and if I can't read it, then it will get a 0. So also double check that on RDS. If you see they turned something in but they got a 0, it might be because I couldn't read it. Ultimately, testing will be done online, usually through Google Forms, and I will send out more information about that shortly. Other than that, I'm going to get out of present mode and just say my final goodbyes. So I know with cooperation and hard work, we can make this a successful school year. And I look forward to teaching your children and look forward to communicating with you throughout the year. Have a great day, and I'll see you later.
Hello, welcome to Miss Talarico's 8th grade science class on the Dream Team. I'm looking forward to an interesting year. Yes, I know we're going to have some challenges, but I'm determined that we're going to have a successful year. A little bit about me. This is my 2nd year at HMS. This is my 16th year teaching 8th grade science. So I'm confident that even though we're going to be online, that our daily activities, the content that students will get will be engaging, it is going to be meaningful, and it is going to be effective. I also have 2 elementary age children of my own. So I understand not only as a parent, but as a student, and as a teacher, some of the challenges that we're going to need to overcome. But please rest assured that I am here for you. Okay, all of my assignments are going to be posted in Google Classroom daily. There will be a due date for each of those assignments, and the assignment is due at 9 a.m. on that due date. Now, some assignments may take 1 day, some assignments may be a little bit longer, may take 2 or 3 days. The due date will be posted on the assignment in Google Classroom, but please make sure that it is done and submitted by 9 a.m. on the due date. We'll be using the McGraw-Hill textbook again, same textbook that you used last year, except for it will be the 8th grade edition. The username and password for this online textbook will be given out next week or the week after. We're not going to use it for the first couple of activities. Okay, grades for my class are broken down into 3 categories. 40% of the grade is assignment grades, so these daily activities. 20% will be quizzes, and 40% will be test grades. I will try my best to update grades as quickly as I can, so please check RDS frequently. But I will make sure that grades are all updated by the Monday of the following week. I do plan to post how-to videos and lesson explanations on this Padlet that is listed here. So this is a place that if you didn't understand an assignment, if you want to see if you got the right or wrong answer, you would go to this Padlet to check out an explanation of the activity. And then I'm also posting how-to videos so that if we are using something new like Edpuzzle, that you know how to log in and get to where you need to go on any application that we're going to be using. And this is my contact information. Move myself out of the way if I can. There we go. So please contact me at any time. Here's my email address. That's the best way to get a hold of me. My office hours are from 8:30 to 3 p.m. each day, Monday through Friday. There will be live Google Meet opportunities most days starting at 2 p.m. And the link will be posted in Google Classroom. As for getting a hold of me, I will try to keep up with my emails. If you happen to email after 3 p.m., I may need to respond to you the following day, but I will be able to keep up with my emails from 8:30 to 3 p.m. So please, if you have any questions or concerns, please contact me. I just want to say that I know this may not be the regular start of the school year, but we're going to have a great year. I'm confident in that. I'm here for you. Please contact me if you have any questions or concerns.
Hi, this is Mrs. Fagan. I'm going to be going over some points to help get us through this virtual learning that we have ahead of us for the next 9 weeks. You can reach me at this email address down at the bottom of the screen. My class expectations are that work will be neat and that I'm able to read it should the students decide to handwrite their work. Assignments should be turned in by 9 a.m. the next morning. That is per the school rules and our 8th grade Dream Team rules. If we are in a Google Meet, students should be respectful and they should be muted until I call upon them to speak. Work will be completed, attached, and submitted in Google Classroom. And an honest effort should be applied to all work, whether that is work that is turned in or just the workouts that I post for the students to do. We will have 4 days a week of actual workouts. Those will be Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. I will post either a video or a circuit in Google Classroom for the students to complete. For accountability purposes, the students will complete a log or a Google form. Maybe they'll answer some questions or write a paragraph, and any documents that they fill out need to be attached and submitted in Google Classroom. As I previously said, I do expect a good, honest effort.
and I do like for students to push themselves but not hurt themselves. I like to stress that even though things are difficult, they are not impossible. And that's the only way we progress in life, is to try out new things and push ourselves beyond what we think we could actually do. One day a week will be our health day. That'll be on Wednesdays. For the 8th graders, I will post the chapter pages in a PDF form in Google Classroom, and the work that they need to complete will either be in a PDF form that they will actually write on their iPad, or it'll be something that they have to write or type out, and both things will have to be submitted in Google Classroom. For 6th grade, I will post some articles with questions. Usually I put the questions into a Google form and those will be submitted. Sometimes I may ask that they write the answers on the PDF that I provide. That pretty much sums it up. If you have any questions for me, please feel free to email me. That would be the best way to get a hold of me. And I really hope that we can make the best of this new situation that's presented to us. I've already been in contact via email with a bunch of students, and it's been really great to see some personalities coming out. I really enjoyed the videos that the students sent me on Wednesday through Flipgrid. And I really hope to see more personalities coming out in the next few weeks and getting to know the students virtually. Thanks.
And I'm the math lab teacher. I'm so excited to be one of the team members in your child's education. I can be reached through your students' Google Classroom and by my email, dsasser@highland.k12.in.us. Grades for Math Lab can be found on RDS and will be updated a few times weekly. All work is due on the following day at 9 a.m. Math Lab classes will run as followed. On Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, assignments will be posted in Google Classroom. The assignments will include, but not be limited to, notes, videos, educational games such as Edpuzzle, quizzes, and worksheets. Not everything assigned will be graded, but the students are expected to complete all that is assigned to them. The work is assigned to enhance your students' knowledge and understanding of the concept that is being presented. On Tuesday and Thursday, the students will complete lessons in Study Island. Study Island is an online educational tool that provides instruction, remediation, assessments, and practice to our students. In addition to myself, Mrs. Madrid and Mr. Morrison will be available to work one-on-one or in small groups virtually with your student. Math Lab students can attend Google Meet between 11 and 1 p.m. to receive this assistance. Students are encouraged to utilize the assistance regularly. I believe that communication is important. Please reach out and contact me with any questions or concerns you might have in regards to your student and their math lab. I sincerely hope that we are all able to be back in the classroom soon. I miss seeing your student daily. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Mr. Ty Hilligans, and I'm excited to be your student's computer science teacher this year. Over the course of this year, we will be studying a variety of topics, including problem solving, which we are studying now. We will be studying what a computer is. We will study how data affects computer science. We will then dive into programming and learn some HTML and CSS. As we learn some basic web design, we'll be learning JavaScript as we do some basic video game making. And then we will also be working on app design. We will also, if we have time, work on some physical computing. This course is for high school credit. That means your student will receive high school credit if they receive an adequate grade in the course. This is also the beginning of the computer science pathway, should your student choose to follow that pathway in high school. On top of this, it is important to note that this will affect your student's high school GPA. So a positive grade in the course will obviously positively impact their GPA, and also a negative score or an F or a D will also negatively impact your student's GPA. So it is very important to keep that in mind and to treat this like it is a high school course, because it is credited in that way. The way that this course will be graded is that students will receive 30% of their points from assignments. 30% will be received from tests and quizzes, and the final 40%, which is almost half of the course, will be based on the various projects that the students will complete throughout the year. The course is very project-oriented, meaning you learn a skill, you learn some new techniques, you learn a new programming language, and then you make something with it. And that is going to be the main assessment for whether or not your student is learning in the course. During the e-learning portion, for at least these first 9 weeks, I will be available to meet at any time if your student would like to ask me a question. I am also available via email, and I am also available on Wednesdays and Fridays from 11 to 11:30. The learning platforms that we're going to be using in this course are code.org, which your student should know how to log into by now. Google Classroom is where all of the assignments will be posted. We will do some work on scratch.mit.edu. If your student took my class last year, it's pretty easy to log into. But if your student did not take my class last year, there will be explanatory videos. As I have stated before, I am really excited to be teaching this course and to have your student in this course. If you do have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out. Thank you.